these were all awesome. Surprisingly awesome. Amazingly awesome. Expectedly awesome. I need to do some more recordings with that one. Let's just kind of set these to the back here right now. Open some more stuff. Here, let's start with this. I have feet. Some of these are square feet, and those have a particular purpose for this guy. I need to go back and look at some photos of original rats and see, because these are a little bit more chamfered in, and these are a little bit less. And these are very kind of like flat and matte looking, and these are a little bit shinier with a little bit of a pebbly texture. Feet for cable ties. Yeah, different sizes of cable ties. I think that looks appropriately cool with the black. Just do a little, there have you. Okay. Nice and tidy. Knocking out the simple stuff first in the mail. Okay. Electro-Harmonix did make an electric mistress earlier than that one. And it had blue silk screening. And it lacked the filter matrix switch. So, this is actually a version 2. Feet for little Ross pedals. Ridiculous pedals in the way. Here. How's that? All right, I'm excited. Now, check it out. Oh, dang it. It still doesn't sit flat. It's the stupid cord. What will I ever do to get this cord out of the way, though? Do you guys like Johann Sageborn? I love his channel. If you don't know who he is, and you like vintage Marshall amps, go find his channel. Segeborn. Hey, you know what? He's right here on my bench. Look at this. There's Johann. Let's go. Next to Dudley Craven and Ken Underwood. If you don't know who those guys are, well, you got a lot to learn, my friend. I guess if you don't like Marshalls, none of those people matter to you at all. I love Marshalls so much. Vintage Marshalls. Tidying up of the power cord we have done here tonight. All right, guys. Well, it's been a great video. Oh, wait. I guess we could do some... Guess we could do something actually interesting. Now. I don't know what... Oh! This is something Electro-Harmonix from 1974. Is it an LPB1? Is it a baseballs? I don't think I got a baseballs. I don't know what the other one was. Might be an LPB1. Look at that. They gave me a new battery. Ah, the silencer. Okay. Nice. All right, guys. Now we've finally gotten to something interesting and worth discussing. Perhaps. It's a nice bag. Hang on to that guy. Clean it up. I've got my duck case sitting out. Make a little more surface area. So the silencer, I don't know what it is, honestly. It might be a noise gate. It might be some kind of hum eliminator. Line noise eliminator. I don't know. We're going to test it and find out. And we're going to do it right now. Now, why would I buy something that I don't know what it does? Well, that is a fair question, but I don't need to know what it is. I need to know when it is in this case. So, this fella here, also from 1974, is missing the original switch and battery connector. And this is ridiculously clean from the same era. Oh, also the 4 screws. So I've got my screws, the battery connector, and my switch right here. And this guy cost me, I don't know, $129 maybe less than that, something like that. But I do want to hear it. Let's find out what it does. Let's learn something. Now, you might consider it criminal to rob a vintage pedal for its parts. But did you see what they were going in? Okay? So, yeah. That Ram's Head Big Muff is about 20 times more valuable than this. The Ram's Head Big Muff is an awesome, usable, sought-after pedal. This guy, unless it sounds absolutely epic here, I imagine it's been surpassed by technology many times over. Like, nobody wants a vintage line noise eliminator. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe this thing has a cult following. Who knows? Maybe like Joe Perry used it and now everybody thinks it's something special. I don't hear anything. Probably needs that battery put in. Well, let's try it. Let's give the noise eliminator its day in court. Because everybody gets a day in court before their death sentence. And you know, I'm really not going to kill it. You know? I've got a really nice set of blue replica 9-volt clips there, modern ones. I've got a modern Carling switch, maybe even a vintage one. Oh, I didn't have to take that off because the battery clips on the back on this one, but that's okay. Now that we've got it off, we can have a look at it. Look at that. That is remarkably clean inside for an Electro-Harmonix pedal. Is that original? I've never seen this type in an EHX pedal, but it looks very old, and that solder, as far as I can tell, looks like that lead is hooked up the very same way as these other leads are, where it's pushed and folded back. Gosh, this is really nice and clean. I have a small amount of guilt. I really do. I have another 1974 pedal coming in too that's a little less clean. I don't actually remember what it is. There's some kind of Siemens transistor in here. Oh, and I see one of those ones that's got the color, they call them racing stripes, the color stripes in the back. I forget. I know it was like BC 108. Have those, but I don't remember the brand. Let's pop this battery in and see what this guy does. Yeah, I have another little 1974 EHX pedal, same size as this, coming, that I could also use that as a donor. We'll just see what, I don't even remember what it was, the other one. Yeah, they were just inexpensive stuff that had the right parts. And the other one's a little bit more, got a little more wear on it. Oh, and the other one actually doesn't have, here's why, one draw that I had to the other one. The other one does not have the original foot switch, but you know what it has in it? It had the foot switch replaced probably long ago with a ridiculously rare and sought after Bulgin foot switch as used in the early fuzz face pedals. So I saw that and was like, shoot, that switch is worth $200. Time to grab it. It's not a line noise eliminator. It's adding noise. Do you hear that buzzing? In the background. Zzz. I don't know if that's coming through. Okay, it is a noise gate. But then as you get down here, it adds noise. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this is a terrible pedal and no one should have this. I don't. It's a nice match for the Electric Mistress, though. I like the color scheme. It's got cool green. And then when it's off, but yeah. Okay, I mean, I could also use the, they call them hockey puck knobs. I call them cupcake knobs, but it is more of a hockey puck, I guess, for my small clone. But the small clone has a chicken head that I'm not certain is unoriginal. It's a little late for Electro-Harmonix to be putting weird knobs on stuff, because it's like a 1979, 1980, maybe 81. But that's what you normally see on them. So, yeah, this guy's for parts. It's a really, really bad noise gate. I'm going to take a reading off the battery just before I seriously condemn this thing to a death sentence. Because, I mean, if it has like a 6-volt charge on it, then I could blame the battery for its terrible sound. This has the wrong screws too. I'm not certain that these are wrong. Let me try something. If they're stainless, they're probably wrong. I have a little magnet over here. I'm just going to see if these are... Yeah, these are stainless. I don't think that's right. And the, nope. The ones from here are definitely not. I'm not going to do this work right now. Yeah, these are sheet metal screws. Woo! I guess they're both sheet metal screws. I'm going to take a quick look on my purchase history here. Sorry if you're just watching my arm. I can always skip through this later, but I want to see what that other pedal I bought was because I don't remember. Like I said, I bought it for the parts. Oh, yeah, right. It was a LPB2. Okay, that one might actually have some value as a pedal. Unlike this. Let's have a look at this. Let's get it out of here. We've tested it. Let's take a peek at it. Is that glued on? No, there you go. You can look at the pot date code. Hopefully it says 74. Yes, it does. 13774. As it should. I mean, or 73. Yes. I had a lot of trouble finding. Now, here's the thing, though. It's not a 100K pot. I do need a 1974 100K linear Electro-Harmonix pot. I would take a audio taper. I don't know if it's correct for the pedal or not, but it would sound better in the tone spot on a big muff. I had a lot of trouble finding one of those. In fact, I never did. The only pedal that I found that had a 1974 100K linear taper pot in it was, or any 100K pot, but the Electro-Harmonix style with the 3 big legs. I'll show you what I mean by that in just a moment. It was in Japan. Now, I don't know if you guys have done any business buying things online in Japan. I have, because I like old Roland and Yamaha stuff. Boss. There's a phenomena, and you can observe this yourself very easily. If you go on eBay and just search for anything, I'll give you an example. Right now, if you search for a Electro-Harmonix, say a black finger compressor, or is it a harmonic equalizer? It's like one of these size pedals with an AC power cord. I think it's called a harmonic equalizer. Or if you look for a Roland SDE 3000 or 3000A, and what you'll find is a lot of listings in Japan for these. And if you look just a bit deeper, like if you just get below the surface and don't make an impulse buy, you will very soon realize that many of these listings are for the same actual unit. And usually they're using the same photos, but they're not like entirely done. Like there's a little bit of thought put in this. They're the same photos, but maybe they're out of order. So you'll see a different thumbnail, but then the set of photos will actually be identical when you look into it. Or sometimes they're not. Sometimes there's 1 or 2 extras. So I think what's happening here is people go to these vintage electronics shops in Tokyo or whatever, and they might take a photo or 2 of their own listing, and then they post it up for sale on their own account. And if they sell it, they'll go buy it at that point from the dealer, if they still have it, and sell it to you. Hey, dig this, guys. How cool is this? Or how not cool is this? Do you see anything funny here? Okay, that wire is loose, but does it look different than those? There was never a drop of solder on that, ever. That switch was just wanting to come out for me. I'll be the first one to solder that on. So, yeah. Now, if you look at the feedback for these sellers who are selling the same stuff that other people have, like they don't actually own it, you'll see a lot of canceled listing, a lot of like negative and neutral feedback for seller canceled the sale and refunded the money, probably because they went to go buy the unit and it was no longer available. And like most of the time, they'll do it under the premise that the item was damaged. When they went to go get it, to ship it, well, look at that, it was broken. But then if you ask for photos or what happened, or you say, well, that's okay, I can fix it, I still want it, Ah, then that's game over for that conversation. They drop you quick because they have no, there's nothing to say at that point. Yeah, so that's how that goes. Let's have a look at this here. There's an LM324N P502. I forget what that S is. Is it? I don't think it's Siemens. It might be Sanyo. There is a little trim pot in there. Not labeled. Wait a minute. This is a Mexican switch. Were they making those back then? Was Carling using Mexican switches? Has this been so clean stock? Or is it? You know? Yeah. I'm also noticing that these two switches, just kind of as we're having this conversation, are significantly different from each other. Now, this is a late 70s, this is an early 70s. That doesn't concern me too much. But this type of nut on here is not what I'm used to seeing. I'm used to seeing this kind, which is the little decor ring. Now, when you buy a switch, usually it comes with both. If you buy them in bulk, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. All right, so this has a little amplifier. It's got some caps and diodes and another transistor over here and over here. I'm not going to like do a whole digging into this kind of thing, but it's a noise gate. The battery clip does appear to be original. So I need to find out about that Carling, Mexico. When did they start making them? Were they making switches in Mexico in 1974 or earlier? Electro-Harmonix did do this type of like double back foam with only one piece peeled, and this is stuck on there good. And that was never soldered. I mean, the wire itself, as well as the eyelet, has no solder on it. So I tend to think that that's all original. I'd like to just put it in a bin, but I don't have a bin handy. Yep, I got one handy. Here we go. So I'm going to put the hardware in a little baggie. Should I put it back together? Yeah. I'll just put it back together, not waste the bin. But I'm not going to solder that switch jack. Yeah. I've changed my mind again. I'm not going to put it back together. Just doing redundant work if I put it back together. That can sit there. Got a little bag for the small parts, including the screws. I realize my Princeton reverb is still on and going. It's pretty quiet though. Hopefully it's not causing any problems. We're not doing any critical listening to anything right now. Okay. Should I take the battery cover off? No, I'll just leave it. And then this hardware and its knob go into another bag together. Sit there, and there it is, and it needs a label so that I can see what it is at a glance. parts.